It's me again, Mr. Dwip. I hate a lot of things. Here's some things I hate. You know those people who will walk right in your face if they have something to say to you? Maybe they need directions, maybe they're a customer or something, but then their face is like 2 inches from yours. I'm the kind of guy who will very, very conspicuously take a step back if someone is too close. I'll make it very obvious. And they'll look at me, and they'll fucking take a step with me, as if I'm inviting them over. Like, no, I don't want to just outright say to back up, because that just seems rude, but why is it rude? That's just another thing I hate, by the way. Weird, arbitrary rules for what's rude. If someone's invading my personal space, there shouldn't be a debate on what kind of way to let them know. Because they'll usually get offended if you just tell them outright, like, back up. But, no. You cunt. Stop breathing into my mouth. I can literally taste your breath. And like, why can't I wear a hat indoors? I like my hat. You think it's easy getting these locks to perfection? It isn't. So I don't want to do it. And so I wear a hat everywhere. Schools will usually have a no hats indoors policy. So if you walk into class with a hat, they'll tell you to take it off. But why? What is my hat doing that's affecting anyone else? I woke up 15 minutes before getting on the bus, and it takes an hour to get to school. Your class starts at 7 a.m., and you are the only professor teaching this class. So my hair is a wreck. I'm gonna keep the hat on, thank you. If you go to someone's house and are told to take off your hat, that's perfectly acceptable. Why is it acceptable to have to take off an article of clothing because someone tells me to? Their home, their rules, one might say. Oh yeah? Well, imagine this. No hats indoors, thank you. You're gonna have to take off your shoes, too.
Now drop those pants.
What? But imagine going to a wedding that takes place outside, and it's 40 degrees, and you're asked to take off your coat. Or if you go to someone's filthy hovel of a home, and the floor is covered with unwashed clothes and moldy food and that wet spot on the ground that they don't say is cum, but you know it's cum. And they ask you to take off your shoes. No, it's uncomfortable. So is taking off my hat. So why is it just an unwritten rule to either take it off or be seen as a rude asshole? Look, I'm not stupid, okay? I know taking off your shoes makes sense, because nobody wants you tracking mud and fecal material onto their fresh wool carpets. And taking off your coat can be for similar reasons. Say if it's wet from the rain or something, or for your own comfort. But why is the hat acceptable? You're affected in no way by me having a hat on or off. It doesn't bother you if someone's wearing glasses or their headband or something, so what's wrong with my hat? I hate these arbitrary rules, and I hate the people that make them. No, actually, I hate people. I spoke about this in my last video a bit, but I didn't go in depth. I hate people, okay? We all suck. All of us, including me. The environment is dying, children are working in sweatshops, and whole hordes of people are suffering just so I can have a Milky Way bar. But I'm still gonna eat it, and I'm still gonna lick my sweet fingies afterward. And so will you. Hell, maybe I'll just eat half of it and throw the rest out. But throwing out food is bad, for some reason. Why? I already paid for the damn thing, whether it ends up in the trash or in my septic tank. What's it matter to you? Oh, but people are starving. Well, they're still gonna be starving whether or not I finish my food. Unless there was a button that beamed my uneaten food to starving people and I refused to press it and just threw it out, then yeah, me throwing out food would probably mean something. But it doesn't. That doesn't happen, okay? The only time there's an actual argument for it being a waste is if it's canned food, right? Because then I could donate it instead of throwing it out. But if I'm full and I can't finish my already made dinner, why do I always feel guilty for not stuffing the rest into my gullet instead of throwing it out? Or not eating the gross leftovers the next day? I'm not losing money by doing so, the money's already gone. Another thing we in the West seem to hate? Why is it that blood can't be shown on kid shows anymore? It's seen as such a huge deal when a character gets like a freaking nosebleed or something, but I had a friend in preschool who got a nosebleed every single day. They aren't that special, alright? Kids know what blood is. Now look, obviously stuff like gore and getting your skin peeled off or having your abdomen ripped out or your leg melted or whatever, that's bad to show, right? Except it's clearly not. They already show all the violence. It's only when the blood is red that it becomes a problem. White alien blood? That's fine. Green blood from squishing a bug? Oh, that's okay. But as soon as it turns red, it's no longer kid-friendly. But extreme violence? Even death, murder, fucking suicide, they're all okay. Have you watched SpongeBob? I really like the new Fiona and Cake show, but watching Adventure Time now, and seeing this, and there being no blood, just pulls me right out the moment. Toonami used to be on Cartoon Network instead of Adult Swim, and they showed Naruto getting impaled by Sasuke's Chidori in all its bloody glory. But that's just not okay anymore. This is another one of those arbitrary rules that people make, and it's why I hate them. People legitimately just suck. Did you know that 100% of all conflicts are started by people? I'm serious. Humans kill hundreds of thousands of other humans every year, and I could name a few people who've done much worse. Whoa. A Nazi joke? Hey now, don't cancel me just yet. I've still got a lot more juicy videos that need canceling, alright? Look, this is probably just gonna piss a lot of people off, but I don't care, because I hate this as well, and I'll die on this hill. And I know this is probably just people on Twitter, and let's be honest, those things, they're not people. Before you get your dislike fingers all primed, to preface this, my views are as liberal and left-leaning as can be. I very strongly disagree with the Nazis and Nazi idealism, and I have sympathy for the survivors of the Holocaust, alright? Anyone that doesn't is an idiot, and I'm glad that regime is gone, alright? Allies all the way. But why do people get all cancel crazy and start labeling you an anti-Semite for a Nazi joke? I mean, look at this here. See this? Wilbur Soot was cancelled for these images that were dredged up from his old Steam page or something like that, right? You got the swastika, you got Auschwitz, all that awful stuff, the whole shebang. Now don't get me wrong, right? I love Wilbur Soot, he's a handsome man, and I would have his babies any day. But the dude obviously wasn't a neo-Nazi. It was a joke. A dark joke, but a joke. Now look, if this was changed to this, none of you would give a shit. And don't say I'm wrong, alright? Because when that same Wilbur Soot and Tommyinnit were literally role-playing communists based on Stalinist Russia, everyone pissed themselves laughing. The Soviet anthem is literally a fucking meme, despite the fact that Stalin actually killed more people than Hitler. So I'm about 80% of the way through editing this, and I was binge-watching Gradeaundera, because I like Grade, and I realized he makes the exact same point I'm about to make now, in this video. Now, I can do the just thing and scrap it, but considering he made that video 6 years ago, and the issue is still somehow very present, I'll keep it in. Also, the idea is similar, but it's not totally the same. These are my own opinions. I was having this conversation with someone like a week ago before making this, so that's kind of why. Yeah. But just go watch his video, you know? It's better than mine. Then come back. Now, I'm not stupid, right? Obviously the people watching are more likely to have some connection to the Holocaust than to, like, Stalinist Russia, right? Clearly. But does that now make it okay to joke at the expense of the millions who were affected? The answer? Yeah, it's okay. They're both okay. With a little thing called context. Context matters, right? If you can make a gulag joke and not be labeled a filthy Stalin supporter, how does a Nazi joke all of a sudden make you an anti-Semite? The only difference is that most likely nobody here was affected by Stalin, but there were still millions of other people affected, but because you weren't, that's okay. That's just blatantly hypocritical. I genuinely don't get the emotion behind this. If you can differentiate between one joke and reality, why not the other? Look, I have a whole video planned for the topic of humor, so I won't go into detail, but my favorite show is South Park. My humor is as pitch black as they come. But it's humor, not real opinions. To quote a really eye-opening line from the South Park episode Cartoon Wars Part 2, it's either all okay or none of it is. It's okay to be offended or to disagree, right? But don't spread these false labels because of it, because that's life-ruining. You can not like the joke and not engage with it. But if you're okay with one, it doesn't really make sense to form a hate mob for the other. I also hate Jews. Kidding, I'm kidding. Like I said, I'm not an anti-Semite, right? I hate everyone equally. Although, if I hate everyone, I guess, technically. My videos are inspired by Gradeaundera, because I really like his content and his humor, and I miss him. Come back, Grade. If you were offended, well, then I guess this isn't for you. If not, like this video so Tabs will marry me.